Hi everyone, it's Carol from Glass Art Diva. I've earlier talked about how I foiled and burnished these using a jar, and then I went ahead and I tinned them, and I tinned all my leaves. Now I'm about to add this piece of wire, which I've made stronger by twisting it. I'm going to add the leaves to it. And just to show you what I've done here is originally in my first one or two videos, I can't remember which one it was, I had said I was going to embed the wire right in along the this part of the leaf. It was going to make it too thick, so I changed my plan. And you will find that you do this a lot. As you go along, you're going to say, I don't like that, so I'm going to change it to this, or this doesn't work, so I'm going to try that. And in this case, I've taken the wire and I've embedded it into the back of the leaf, added a bit of solder and made sure that it was fairly prettied up nicely. And again, I attached the wire to the back of this leaf so that, and then I attached it here because I do want some stability in this area too. And then the next thing is I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to take this leaf and this leaf. Now I'm not going to attach the bird just yet because I want to get this in place first before I attach the bird to make sure that I've got everything solid. I want it to be solid. So what I'm going to do here is I know I'm going to attach just by looking at this piece of wire. I'm going to bend it a bit. And once it's in place, it won't be so bad, like so. So this one's going to be attached here, and then this one's going to be up here. So I can go ahead and I can cut my wire off about there. So give or take right about here. And it's going to take a little bit of strength. There it goes. Luckily, nobody was over there. All right, so now I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to add my gel. Well, I have just a little jar, and I add a little bit of flux to it at a time, the gel flux, and I have my brush, and then I can just dip it in. I don't put too much in at a time because I don't know when I'm going to be getting back to my project, and I don't want to waste it by letting it dry out or sit too long and become contaminated. So I'm going to add a little bit of solder here. Now again, this is double wired, so I want to add some heat to it to make sure that it's going to stick properly. You can hear, I don't know, can you hear the sizzle? That's the flux. And now I'm just going to add my solder to it. And again, because I'm working in an environment where there's oxidization and that, you'll see where the tip of my iron gets black. And again, just give it a couple of wipes in your little brass scrubby, as I call it. Don't buy the ones in the store. Those ones will scratch the tip of your iron. This is a very soft brass. And guess what? I put that on upside down. And that's what life's all about. Making mistakes and going back and correcting them. So I want it this way. So now let's flip it this way. It's so easy to make mistakes, but don't worry about it. Just undo it. Hold it while it cools so it'll stay put. There we go. And now I want to add this one, and I'm going to add it probably right about there, so it's going to stick right into that piece there. So let's just add it here, and it's hot. So I'm going to use my pliers to hold it in place while I finish it up. So I want it to solder it here too. So I want them touching. So I'm going to wiggle this around a bit. There, like so. Add a little bit of, and then just hold this all together. Eventually, There it goes. It's just nicely touching, or a little bit of solder just to make it hold until I can get a little bit more added to it. There. Hold it. Add some more. So that you want to have a fairly good piece on there. A good piece of solder, sorry. I'm talking to myself. I do that a lot. Okay, and I'm gonna pretty that up a bit. Get a nice bead on that. So let's take a look, see what I've done. All right, not so bad. Now I can add a little bit of solder just to that point right there, so that the it's going to stick together like so. Now I want to add my beads to it. So in this particular case, I'm going to try and put 3 little beads like so. Okay, and then I'm going to have to make sure that I use either a glove or pliers. Now I've washed these, you know, like I say before, always clean, clean, clean. You don't want to have leftover flux sitting on your pieces. It it can get underneath your, sorry, I'm thinking and trying to talk at the same time. It can get underneath your beater, your bead of solder, and start lifting. So when you're done for the day, or you've done a section of piece, always make sure that you clean it. And again, what I do is I put it up against where I want it. And then, let's see if I touch just here so that the solder kind of goes up the side of the bead, just to hold it in place until I can drop some more solder on it from here. You see how it's going in? And now it's going to attach itself a little more. And now I'm ready to put the 3rd bead on, about like so. And again, a little bit more flux, and I'm going to drop some solder on it. And again, don't try and touch it with your hands. It's hotter than Hades. And just kind of feed your solder like this. Like so. What do you think? So I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to add the beads. 1, 2, 3. I think that's what Holly has, 3 beads, I think, something like that. But it doesn't matter. We're all artists, and whatever turns your crank works for me too. So when that's on, I'll come back and we're gonna next attach the bird to the wire with some more wire. And from there, we'll attach the little piece to the hat. And I'm gonna do a little decorative stuff here. And I think that's it for now. Take care. See you again soon. Bye now.